guys, and welcome to my very first video on my new weight loss journey channel. I did not think this through. So why YouTube? Number one, I felt like I needed a creative outlet in my spare time whilst the world seems to be in perpetual limbo and we all seem to be in lockdown. I had planned to join up to a number of clubs and different things this year, but obviously that's not going to happen. Reason number two, I feel that's four. Okay, reason number two, I feel like I've had some success so far in my journey, enough that I feel comfortable and confident enough to be able to share maybe some of the things that have worked for me, to also reflect on a lot of the struggles that I've had. But I'm definitely, as you can see, not at my target weight yet, and there definitely is a long journey still ahead of me, and I'd love to be able to bring you guys along for that. And reason number three, and possibly the most important, is that I basically need to stop harassing my friends and family on Facebook with all of my photo comparisons, weight updates, all that sort of stuff. I mean, you know, jokes and really lame humor aside, I do have really supportive people around me, but unless you're also going through a weight loss journey, it's really hard to do much more than click like on a photo, really, because you're not going through the same struggles. So I thought this would be a great platform to share my journey, to hear from you guys, to share information and swap ideas. So it's kind of the same as when, you know, your friends are posting photos of their kids on Facebook. And for me personally, I'm like, okay, that's great, haha, love heart. But also, don't bring your kids around to my middle class, millennial, child-free zone and ruin all my furniture. Or also, you know, those friends who they get a new pet and suddenly every single update is about that pet, and their profile picture changes and they're suddenly snapping oh, here's Poppy's first poo out in the park, and all this mundane stuff that you don't really care about. You want to be supportive and you hit a like, but really you get sick of it after the 18th post. That's kind of where I found myself at the moment. So I thought YouTube would be a great area with which I can, again, share my story and continue on this crazy roller coaster of a journey, but drag you guys along with me. So I'd love for my filming schedule to be at least once a week until my channel picks up some traction. Mondays seem to be the best days for me to upload. It gives me sort of the week to film, the weekend to edit, and to get it up on a Monday. I definitely would love to go into more detail in another video talking about what my journey has been like so far, especially with all of my overlapping medical conditions. 2020 has, not been a great year for me on that front. So I kind of want to talk about how each of those have impacted my journey, what I've done differently, how I started my weight loss journey, what I'm doing now, all that fun stuff. But I know that that could get a little bit tedious at times, so I definitely want to break it up with other content, like doing try-on hauls, particularly for brands that I've never been able to fit into before, because that's been definitely a fun, exciting sort of part of the whole weight loss journey for me. Definitely trying out new recipes with you guys, being a little guinea pig, and trying out new sort of diet, low-calorie type foods. There's a lot that I've seen on the market. So product reviews and first impressions, and of course weigh-in videos, which conveniently leads into the second part of this video, which is my weigh-in for today, my update. So as this is my very first video and we're getting to know each other a little more intimately, I only really like to measure myself once a month or once every 2 months. And I like to weigh in about every 2 to 3 weeks just to see how my progress is going. I used to weigh myself far more regularly. That was particularly while I was doing Slimming World, which again we'll get into in a whole other video at another time, so stay tuned for that. So at the moment I have one major goal that I want to achieve. I've broken that down into weekly goals, even though I don't really weigh myself every single week. So to give you guys an idea of that breakdown, here it is. Right, what you're seeing up on the screen at the moment, my week 1, I definitely hit my target for. At the beginning of week 2, actually on the 25th of October, I tested positive for the current virus, let's say, that's going around at the moment in the world. So I was asked to be put into isolation for 14 days. That's the standard procedure here in the UK. I'm not sure what it's like in other places. So when I weighed in this morning, I had only lost 3.5 pounds in the last 2 weeks, which, all things considered, and the fact that my body was fighting off a virus that is taking over the world at the moment, I am pretty proud of that. However, it is less than what I would have liked to have achieved. So I do have another 2.5 pounds that I need to kind of find somewhere in the next few weeks, but I should be back at work. I've got a really active job, so I don't foresee me having any issues with achieving those goals. But, you know, with all transparency, I didn't actually hit my target for today, but I'm okay with what I've achieved. So, as you saw on the last screen, I have a very specific goal that I want to reach. I'd love to reach it before Christmas. So if you're curious as to why it is such a specific number that I want to get into, it is related to some of the health issues that I sort of touched upon at the beginning of this video. So unfortunately, you're going to have to stay tuned for another video and put up with me again for that. For those of you that are nosy and are purely here for my weigh-in stats, now before I show this, I do need to explain that I am a Papua New Guinean Australian, hence my weird accent and my fluffy hair. So I have a bit of a mishmash of an accent. Also, I'm living in the UK at the moment, so my measurements in my head that have been drilled into me are in stones and pounds, but I'll convert it into just pounds for anyone watching in America or Canada. And I'll also put it in kilos because that's where I'm from. Not originally, but back home in Oz. So I'll have them broken down on the screen now at this point, through the magic of editing. And yeah, so as you can see, I started off at 23 stone 12. And as of this morning, I weighed in at 17 stone 6.5. So that's a 6 stone 5.5 pound loss from the very beginning. Also, I'll insert here bonus footage. So this was my weigh-in from this morning, just for anyone else that is curious, and just to, you know, be again transparent and honest. There it is right there, 17 6.5. So that was my weight and my weigh-in. For anyone that's curious for my measurements, genuinely, when I take my measurements, I do my arms, my waist, my thighs, and my belly. I was kind of looking all over Google for something that even remotely resembled the same kind of measurements that I do. All of them kept saying hips, which is probably around the same area, but I definitely, where it says hips, I'm definitely talking about my belly, so at my widest point, which is my problem area at the minute. So when you look at the measurements in this screen, you'll be able to see what those measurements are. It just so happens, it was a freaky coincidence that it's been exactly 1 month since my last sort of measurements to the day exactly, but in total on the screen you can see that I've lost 10 centimeters. The other measurement that I do, which isn't on this example, and again it was really hard to find a picture that had everything in there, and I'm not artistic enough to create it from scratch, so I just sort of edited an image. But the other measurement that I take is for my booty, or almost. So yeah, at the moment I am trying to grow it. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I have lost 4 centimeters of my butt. But I know a lot of that is just because of, yeah, lack of moving around and being sick, like I've said, for the last couple of weeks. I definitely know it's muscle and definition that I've lost there. So because it's something that's a little bit counterintuitive, because I actually want to grow my booty, it probably isn't best that I include it in sort of my monthly measurements. So maybe it was divine intervention that I ended up finding an image that didn't actually technically work. But yes, those are my measurements as of this morning. So yeah, 10 centimeters lost off my body in the last month, which is cool. Anyway, guys, that's a lot of talking from me. I want to hear about you guys. What made you click on my video? I'm curious. Are you on your own weight loss journey at the moment? Let me know down below. Comment. Let's start a conversation down below. If you're interested at all, like I said, in finding out more about my story, my weight loss so far, where I started in my journey, what programs I've been on, what I've been doing recently, etc. I'd love to share more about that. Make sure you hit the bell notifications so you can be notified anytime I upload any new videos. I've definitely got a couple of hauls coming up as well. I've already filmed one for Killstar if you're into that sort of aesthetic. And I've got another one going up from Boohoo. But like I said, I'm going to try and just stick to a weekly uploading schedule until I end up being a YouTube star and have millions of views, in which case I might consider uploading on a second day. But until then, we'll just make it a Monday. So if you want to see me again next week, click subscribe, join the tribe, hang out with my parents and I. And yeah, that's about it really. I'd love to have you guys along for this journey and I'm super excited. So yeah, okay, that's it. Bye.